Yo, what's happening guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to Fullback, where we're competing in the British ProKart Endurance Championship. This is the championship I'm competing in this year. It's as you can tell, it's a bit different than what I normally do. We're competing in order karts when I normally are just competing in higher karts and Club 100 and whatnot. I thought, you know what, we might as well give it a go, see how we get on. It is quite different as well. It is 6-hour races, and you run it with a team as well. And you also get a lot of practice as well. You get 6 hours on Friday, you get 6 hours on Saturday as well. And what you're seeing right now, this is my footage on Friday. First time at the track. We had quite a lot to learn. I'm pretty sure most of the people had been to the track already, just due to the fact that they had the plate here recently, and a lot of teams are running that. So yeah, we're just trying to get used to the track. As you can see here behind this driver here, you had to use the curbs a lot, like fully hit all the curbs. Got a nice run on this driver here. We're gonna send it. We just send it up the inside. That's a nice and easy move there. So yeah, you had to use the curbs a lot, and you had to kind of be very committed going into the corners. I was taking it easy on Friday. In practice in general, I was taking it easy. Wasn't really fully hitting the curves because I didn't want to break the kart. I haven't showed you my first session, but basically what happened is I went out in my first session. They called me in. As soon as done the out lap, they called me in. I was going around during the in lap, and the left rear wheel came flying off. So yeah, I was just trying to not break the kart in practice basically. As we're behind the driver in the 151. So yeah, in this championship you can see the driver in the 151, behind his numbers he's got not black plate actually, he's got a yellow plate, but he's got a black background, and that means he's a clubman class driver, and we're also in the clubman class. So when it comes race day on Sunday, we'll be competing against this driver there, so it feels good to get past him there. So yeah, you have the black plated drivers, which are the clubman class drivers. Then you have the blue plated drivers, which are the pro class drivers, which are just like one class above. And then after that you've got the super pro drivers, which are the red plate. And the super pro drivers are usually the quickest, then it's the pros, and then it's the clubmans. And you are scored against the drivers in your class. So if you want to win it in class, we just have to beat all the clubmans basically. And it usually is quite intense. You know, you're going on for 6 hours, you never know what's going to happen. You could have like a chain fall off. Like in the first race of the season, we were at Chennington, and we had a sprocket break, all the teeth went, and that lost us about 10 minutes in the pits, and from the lead we dropped down to like 6th or something. Now we're behind this driver in the red here. He misses all the curbs and decides to keep his foot pinned and just spin himself about. Anyways, a couple laps later we're catching up to another driver here, and I was just hoping to stick in his slipstream, just because I was mainly struggling on consistency in this session. Well, in general I was struggling a bit on consistency, so if I was in a slipstream, hopefully I could see what he was doing and yeah, learn a bit. I felt quite strong even going out the bat on Friday. As a team I think we were quite strong. We were using the tyres from our last race from Chennington. They'd only done 6 hours, so they weren't that bad. I think most people were using their tyres from Chennington. As you can see, we're catching up to this driver here. We don't really go wide coming out of that corner, and we missed the curb. I wasn't really doing this on Friday too well, but come Saturday and Sunday I started doing it a lot better. We kind of get held up on the chicane there. That driver ahead was going a bit slow. We get past him there, and now we're behind this driver here. What number is he in? Number 200. Yeah, as you can see, he's a blue plated driver, which means he's in the class above us. So yeah, I was hoping just to stick behind him, stick in his slipstream, and hopefully that'll help us a bit in consistency. But as you can see here, he's it looks like he's struggling a bit with consistency himself. I'm not sure if he just came out of the pits now or what, but yeah. Once again, as you can see, coming out that corner there, I didn't really go wide enough. However, we did hit the curb that time, hit it quite nicely, win the slipstream here. However, he just pointed us through, so haven't really learnt much there. Now skipping on a few laps, we started getting a bit more consistent and we put in our 2 fastest laps of the race. So going through that chicane, hit all the curbs, coming to this hairpin here, kind of flicked it late there. However, we did gain about like 2-3 tenths, I'm not sure how I did. That corner was very weird. Coming into this second chicane, brake late, hit that first curb, hit the second curb, use all the curb on exit. We're still like 4 tenths up going into this corner here. A little smooth power braking into this hairpin. We hit the grip patch perfectly. We've got a nice run, still 4 tenths up. Now going into this hairpin, we missed the curb. We missed the curb going into the hairpin, and that just loses us all our time. We just lost 4 tenths in that one corner, just because we missed the curb. Now the lap after, this is our fastest lap of the session. Once again, hit all the curbs in the chicane, get a nice route, a nice run coming out. Going into this hairpin here, did not do it nowhere near as well as the lap before. Going into the back chicane once again, braked a bit early I think, hit all the curbs quite nicely, got a nice exit. Coming into this fast left-hander, some nice power braking once again. Into the right-hander, didn't hit the grip patch as well that time. As you can see, we're only 1/10 up. But now can we hit the curb this time? We do manage to hit the curb, hooked us around, and now as you can see once again, we did not use all the track on exit, so we've just lost our 2-3 tenths there. And that lap was a 0.7. Then I kind of realised we weren't really going any quicker, so I just brought it in, and Alfie was going out next. Now a few hours later, this was, I think the first session was in the morning, this was in the afternoon or something, I can't remember. It was quite late, this one, compared to the first one. The track had sort of died off. It wasn't as grippy as it was before. I think most people were saying it as well. It was dripping a bit, so as you can see I was taking it very easy on the outlap. Yeah, it was kind of dripping a bit, so I wasn't sure if the track was wet or not. However, it was basically dry, so it didn't really matter. But yeah, if you're currently doing Club 100, or you know, you're doing some outdoor rental karting and you wanna get into BPEC, it's not very hard. There are stuff like arrive and drive packages. I think for the price that you're paying and the amount of track time you get for the price, BPEC is probably the best out there. And you're also driving much faster karts, and it is quite fun. So yeah, you can check it out. I think I'll probably leave a link somewhere below if I remember. But yeah, a few laps later we're catching up to this blue plated driver. I think we caught him quite quickly, so I wasn't sure if I was going to sit in his slipstream or not. But yeah, now not long after we caught right up to him, just send it up the inside, nice and easy move there. However, after this I did start driving quite bad. I was making a lot of mistakes. Yeah, I was driving so inconsistent after this, I'm not sure what I was doing. I was basically trying different things, seeing if they would work or not. However, half the things I was trying weren't really working. It was dripping a bit, it wasn't too bad. You couldn't really tell it was raining. I'm just watching it back right now and I can see the rain coming down, but yeah, as you see there, we just fully missed the apex on the hairpin. Yeah, so not ideal. But yeah, getting used to these karts is something I've been trying to do. This is only my think I've only driven an undercart like 3 times before. The first time I'd done one was at the Rowra 12 hour last year, and then at Warden Law was my second time driving a ProKart. As you make a big mistake there, driving against through. Yes, so Warden Law was my second time driving an undercart. I actually done quite well, I think, at Warden Law. I got pole in class. I was like 5th overall. And that was when the grids were much bigger. And then the third time I've driven one was at Shennington, which was the month before this. Yeah, I think it's just all about experience basically. Got to get used to these carts, how they handle, got to get used to the tracks as well. Shennington and Fullbeck, I haven't been to either of them. I don't think, I think only Alfie in our team had been to Shennington. None of us had been to Fullbeck. However, next round up will be at GYG. Thankfully, I have been to GYG, although it's only once, actually no, twice, because I had to do my Club 100 assessment there, and then the Club 100 round I've done there. I actually podiumed on debut, so hopefully we can do something a little similar there when we get there next month. And then I'm not sure about the rest of the tracks, but I know I've done a few. Warden Law will probably be my best. Rowra, I've done it a few times. As you can see there, we fully outbrake ourselves. We kind of had to go through the chicane. I felt like I was going to go into the back of the driver there, but yeah, we're pointing back through because when I was sat behind him, I was driving a lot more consistent. I was just following what he was doing. Yeah, I felt more consistent in general. However, we kind of just plateaued at this pace, and I decided to bring it in. But yeah, that's it for this one. A bit of a different video, just testing, unfortunately, because you can't record the official testing or the race. But if you've enjoyed this one, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.